Aloha! And today we have a rainy day in Hawaii. Just to show you, it's not always sunny and bright. A couple of weeks ago we started the Kilauea Iki Trail from the sort of Thurston lava tube end of it. We just went down into the crater and up again on a sunny day. And today we're doing the crater, the rim first, and then the trail along the floor at the end. So we intend to do the full hike today. Today's a rainy day, so this is a chance to show how it's not impossible to sing in the rain. Hello. The ferns look wonderful when it rains, and it is rainforest up here, so it obviously rains once in a while, or else there wouldn't be any ferns. It's still a good idea to have hiking boots, because if you're in tennis shoes and they're white, they're going to look kind of mucky after you're done, because something like that kind of smattering stuff will be on trails that are wet. So if I say I prefer you to wear hiking boots, that might be why, but it's up to you. Anyway, so we're just going to keep you posted as we go, but the birds are singing and it's quite nice out here, and as long as you're wearing the right kind of clothes, it's not really bad to be out in the rain. It's par for the course. Well, what am I wearing? Wearing a tank top, a fleece jacket, lightweight, and a very lightweight raincoat from Go Light. I don't mind advertising for Go Light because they're really awesome. And as far as the bottoms, I have a pair of shorts underneath, and then these Go Light thin pants. They're not rain pants, but they could be the same thing. A little pair of hiking socks and a pair of hiking boots, and I'm happy as a clam. Hello again. A couple kinds of mist going on today. Out there you'll see the weather mist going, little fog across the crater. And here you'll see a whole different kind of mist, which isn't misty at all. It's part of the 1959 smoke that's still smoking. This thing blew in 1959 and it's still hot about, what is it, 200 feet underneath? Yeah, we just read it, so I want to be exact about it, but about 200 feet underneath the surface here is still quite warm. So there's something interesting about volcanoes, is they can be dormant, but they can still blow up at you. You know, there's a certain excitement factor to that, the thrill factor, you know. Just for scale, actually you can see the trail out there running across to a diagonal. That little lighter line across there. And right in the middle you see a few little dots, kind of like doll sheep in Alaska, that kind of scale. Those are people in the crater, so that gives a sense of scale as to how vast the crater is. And again, this is Kilauea Iki, which is a smaller crater. Kilauea, the main crater, Rainy.mov crater, is the big one next to this one. So if this one is big, then that one is huge. So it just tells you something about people versus volcanoes. Joe versus a volcano? Anyway, let's go on. We just met a little native bird going down. What was it, a pheasant?
I think so.
Didn't get too good of a look at him. There's a little head there. Yeah, there's a little head down there. I think it's a matter of dual curiosity. So there's wildlife here too, in the rain. So we just finished our part about the rim. Half the trail is on the rim and half the trail is along the crater floor. So just to show where we came from, it just started, the descent just started now. So we came down this, and now I just noticed here, so we want to take a little film to show what happens as we start going downhill. Because for those who are timid about like stairs and ups and downs, this is the answer. So it's not bad, but certain parts will have stairs like this, and certain parts will be a little bit less steep. And I think it's about like a 40-story building as far as up and down. So if you live in New York, you can do that math pretty easily, and if you don't, then I guess you can still do that math pretty easily. So it's not bad. It took about 15 minutes on the other end when we did it before, and I imagine it'll probably take 15 minutes to go down this time. Let's see, 4:42, so by 5 o'clock. So let's try. So we're actually down already. It's 4:45, so that took like 3 minutes. The other end took 15, and the other end has a lot more S-curves and type, you know. So I would say neither end is wheelchair friendly, but this trail here, this end of it is definitely steeper, more stairs like this, and the other end is much more graded. But as I said, neither end is wheelchair friendly, so if you have a knee problem, you might want to go up the steep part and down the not so steep part, and either way. But 3 minutes isn't bad though, no matter what. So we're here in the crater. So now we're just going to locate the trail and then start making our way across this sort of barren volcanic landscape, which is definitely, as I said before, a pretty unique hike to be able to do. Can't do that in most places. So let's go. So just how you find your way in this wonderland here. There are these little numbers that number the trail that you see occasionally, but not enough to find your way in a place like this. So what you want to look for is like these little cairns here made of lava rock. There's another one down there, little piles of rock right there. That's what you go for, and then occasionally you'll meet one of those numbers on the trail, and then you'll know that you're on the right way. So can't get too lost inside a crater. Think about it. As long as it's not dark out. You need daylight for this one. But not too bad. So this is a so there's two kinds of lava. Well, really one kind of lava, but it sort of comes out in two different ways. The sharp kind like this is lava. It's very, very, very sharp. Like, you really don't want to fall on lava. It's very sharp. And then later on, well, actually what we're standing on here looks more like pehoihoi. It's harder to see though because it's kind of warm. We'll find a better example of pehoihoi later on, but this is a good example of because it's just very, very sharp rock. So, and always leave the rock behind. Never take pele home or she will make your life miserable. So always, always leave it behind. Even check your shoes before. Make sure you don't take rocks home with you. I'm not OCD about this. I'm really serious. In Hawaii, lehua means flower, and this particular lehua is called an ohia. The red one, it's always found in lava. Volcano has a lot of them, and there's a little legend about that one which I'll spare you because it's raining and we don't want to destroy the camera, but it has to do with Pele being pissed off and turning her lover into this nasty, ugly looking tree, and his girlfriend lover became the flower on the tree. So that way they could be together, but not really. And if you pick an ohia flower, then it will rain. So, because the lovers are crying because they got separated. So, obviously, due to the weather today, somebody must have picked a few yesterday. Shame on them. Hello. So we're on the way down to the bottom of the crater here. And if I don't fall, then we're in good shape. And if you look at that edge over there, just adjacent to the floor of the crater, that's how high the lava went up in 1959 when it kept spilling out and then, you know, sinking back in, and that's how high it actually came up at that time. And then of course it sunk, and when it quit spewing out lava, the lava sunk down, and then we had the crater floor as a result. But it actually went up that much. So that's a fair amount of lava when you look at the crater as a whole, considering those little people in the beginning of the video. It's a lot of hot lava. So anyway, the rain is incessant, so we've decided to simply continue singing in the rain and demonstrate that it's possible to have a good time even if it's raining. If you look like here, it's a good example of that number and how the trail is marked by these cairns. So we'll put the camera away because it's going to get ruined completely if we don't protect it, but anything more exciting we'll show you. Alright. So one of the reasons you come down here is for the steam vents, and you see steam coming up right there. And this is in the rain, the steam is still coming, so it's a good amount of steam. Over here too, lots of steam. And we're actually standing right here in front of a little steam vent. Not too much steam coming, but it's warmer right here. If you stand right here, you kind of feel that warmth pushing out. You can see occasionally the steam coming out. And they always seem to be putting out steam. What, how many years now? Since 1959 they've been putting out steam, so it's testimony to the... Oh, there's a nice big wave of steam coming right now. Testimony to the amount of heat that's buried underground here. And I think I said 200 feet before, which I think it was agreed upon subsequently that it's the lava underneath, it's hot several hundred feet underneath the surface, but not necessarily 200 feet. So I didn't want to misquote that, but not too far down, so that's where the steam is originating. But see, there's a nice vent right over there now, going at it, see, in the distance. So that's one of the reasons you come down here. So I promised to show you a little bit hoi here. It's not the most grand example, but you get the sense of where it's flowing down the hill. You can kind of see the layers, and that's essentially what hoi looks like. There's some more here, that kind of flow, poragey flow, as opposed to this abrupt looking, you know, more looking stuff. Anyway, we're almost at the end of the trail. We're going to head into the woods over here, mostly ohia trees, and find our way up to the top. And then we'll try to connect with the Thurston lava tube on the other side. It should be dry in there, relatively speaking. Aloha. Okay, so we're on the trail now. The crater is right down there. We've now reached the Thurston lava tube end of the trail. And compared to the steps on the other descent over there, now we have the ascent on this side of the crater, and it's much smoother S-curves all the way up. Again, it takes about 15 minutes or so to get to the top. So, just to compare, this is more of an example of what the trail looks like over on this side. We'll see you at the top.